Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. If you are new, welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play, and I hope you'll hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and just keep joining me each week with my stitching. And if you are a returning viewer, you know I love you. Thank you so much for coming each week or whenever you can and being a part of my stitching journey. It really means the world to me, and it is everything to know that I have stitchy friends out there in the world, because I know I have subscribers everywhere, and I love to hear from all of you. And speaking of subscribers, I noticed that I got quite a few this past week. I am so close to 2,000, very, very close to 2,000. Super excited about that. So if you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for hitting that button, and feel free to leave any kind of comments or questions, either in the comments or reach out to me. I will do my best to answer whatever I can. And yeah, happy July. I can't believe it's July. It is rainy and dreary here, but I'll talk about that when I talk about life stuff. But I am in the Delaware site today, so things are a little bit different. I feel really short because the way the chairs line up, I got really used to standing up for the last two videos. One was the extra and one was last week's, but there's no place to do that here unless I stood at the kitchen counter. So we're just rolling with it and figuring out the best places to do this. So yeah, it's all right. A little variety in it. Before I show you my stitching, I want to talk about a stitching friend. You know that each week I've been trying to talk about somebody who is part of my stitchy journey and watches my channel and all that stuff, supports me, and has a Flosstube channel, and I'd like to support them, and I love being part of their stitching journey as well. So this week was somebody that I can't remember the last time she had put a video out, but I was super excited to see Kathy from Crafty Cat Stitcher put out a new video. I think it was within the last week. I don't think it's older than a week, so if you want to check Crafty Cat Stitcher out, I will leave her links below. I love how Kathy talks. She's so calming to me. So I really enjoy just watching her videos first for the calm. But then she has beautiful stitching. She stitches on all types of projects, all types of fabrics. I think she does, Kathy, you really like the linen and the higher counts, I think, is the majority of almost all your stitching. But I love it. It's so beautiful, and I really like seeing what you do. Kathy also has an Etsy shop that she creates some things for. So if you check her videos, she always has links to that, so you can always check it out as well too. But I will make sure that down below in the description box that I link Kathy's channel, so you can check her out if you are not already watching her, which I'm sure lots and lots of you already are. So that's this week. Who I wanted to talk about. Okay, that's it for other stitching. Let's talk about my stitching. I did get into the studio, the craft room, I don't know what to call it. And if you remember 2 videos ago, which was my Flosstube Extra, I did a video on finishing and how I like to finish. And I did it in pieces. So last week I showed you the finished one that I showed on the video, which was February. And then I got back into the room this week and I fully finished the other 2 that I had been giving I had done little piecemeal parts, but I wanted to show the full finish. So they are 2 cottages from Cottages of the Month from Country Cottage Needleworks. And I am slowly, it feels like now, stitching these for my mom and giving her the entire set so that she'll be able to put them on display. So this one's December. Now, I noticed this afterwards, but it's fine. I got a little too energetic in pulling when I pulled on this corner. So it's a little bit higher, but honestly, if somebody's looking at it quick or whatever, it's not gonna make much of a difference. But that's December. I chose this really pretty red, I always have to look underneath my glasses to see the pattern, red fabric that has a very, very subtle pattern to it. You can see it when you look up close, but otherwise it's just very, very subtle. It's the best way to describe it. And I tried to pull off of the reds from the piece that I stitched. So that's the first one. And then the second one is October. And that's October. And again, this one is an orange that has a very, I don't know if I call it a pattern, but it's just a variation in the colors of orange. And I thought that was nice because then it played off of the pumpkins and the other colors in this piece. So 2 more are fully finished. So all the ones that I've been a stitched finish are now fully finished. So I'm getting there. And you'll see I had been a little bit of a slacker with getting the last few stitched, so I'm back at it. So hopefully I can get them done, you know, in a good way, not in a bad way, but get them done in a good way. So that was full finishes, completely done for the most part. What I'm gonna do with these, if you're new, is I've got a clip frame, so these will all just get clipped in the frame that way. So that's why I'm considering that a full finish right now. When I have them all done, I will show you with the frame and give you a little sneak peek of what it looks like. All right, now, no stitching finishes. I tried. This first one I'm gonna show you, I tried, but there's more stitching there than I thought there was, so it just didn't happen. So I have a lot of pieces that are in progress that you'll get to see, most of which you have seen before. And I'm just looking at my notes and I forgot to add one thing for a fabric, but I'll leave it in the description below. I'm trying to do 4 different things in my brain at once and it's not working. So let's just go back to the stitching part. This first one, I really tried to get a finish. It's called Crab Friends from Crocette Gogo, and that's the digital pattern right there. I print off in black and white, so I like to show the colored if I can. So that's it, and it's wonderful, bright, full colors. And here we go. I'm just gonna do this because that's all I got. I really, really tried to get this little guy done, but he is much bigger than you think he is. And as a result, it didn't. So my goal this week is to get him finished. And I'm thinking what I might try to do is put a strand or 2 a day in him. And I think that might get him done. I mean, every color but this orange is done. I just have to work down here. So I don't even have to change colors anymore. So that's it. This is done in an 18 count sand from Picture This Plus. I like it. It was a small piece that I picked up just to give it a try. And I like the color. And I find a lot of times, you know this, Picture This Plus, I have some trouble with because I stitch in hand, but this one's pretty good. Though it's a little bit tighter, it's not as loose as some of the other ones. So that's the first piece. All right, now I have a new, because I'm not in my normal setups, I keep experimenting with where everything's gonna go. So I'm just gonna put this, I'll put it on this. I have little tables here and some chairs here just to be able to put things everywhere. Okay, the next one. So this was what I was referencing when I was talking about the finishes. Country Cottage Needleworks, May Cottage. I started this, I looked back, I started this back in April, and then I got distracted. I got distracted by my May stitching, and I got distracted by my June stitching. So I said this week, I'm pulling it out. I'm doing this one so that I can keep working and get it done. And here we are. This is what I have. This is done on Vintage Country Mocha, but it's done on the back side. Vintage Country is a printed one, and I've been doing them mostly on the back side. I forgot. I don't know if one of the 2 finishes, one of the pieces I stitched on the right way. It might have been June, which is my mom's birthday, so that works out. But all the others have been on here. So far, all the colors seem to do pretty good on this back side. And that's where I am. I don't have a lot, work on the trees and where am I, the little fences, and I think there's some birds, and then the bottom row. No, I did not do, there's a bunch of like little, what they'd be considered bumblebees in between there, and they're gonna be down here as well. I generally pull back on these patterns and I don't stitch everything because I don't want those areas quite as crowded. So that top, except for I have to do one of the flowers over here. But for the most part, that top that's how it's gonna look. It's not gonna have the extra pieces in it. So that's that one. It is so dreary. The lighting is hopefully the lighting comes through. Sometimes non-bright when it is this kind of weather, the light can be better. We'll see. Next, all right, I have a bunch of smalls. This one is Tales from the Sea, Fragments in Time, 2021, number 1. And this is from Summer House Stitch Works. And that's that. And here we go. I did go and grab the extra colors that I needed, so I was able to do some more because I was missing the greenish blue there. I know I have some of this kind of rust color in another project, I just don't know where. So I grabbed some more and then I was able to keep stitching. This is done on an 18 count cream from Dove Stitch. And we're just plugging along. This part, you know, it has a lot of counting with back and forth, so it's a little bit slower, but then once I get here, I think it's really gonna move right along. So that's it. So June was a summer stitching month. I picked all new starts that had to do something with summer, ocean, beach, all that kind of stuff. And so that's why you're gonna see a lot of those, because I kept a decent number of them going. And then I am, when I talk about plans, going to continue with some of those. I'm not abandoning all of those pieces. Next, this I had started last year. I worked on it, I wanna say in July, and then I kind of put it aside. And it's kind of been sitting there. So I figured, you know, it's July. Well, this was right at the very end of June, but basically it's July this week. So let's pull it out again. This is Long May She Wave from Stitching with the Housewives. And this fabric is a little bit more of a see-through, so depending on the light, that's where I am. Do I have anything? You know, I'll just put the back of my Halloween magazine behind it. So there you go. So that's what I have. I continued working down here. I did a lot more of I basically did a lot of the white stitching, working with the truck and all of that. Now, normally these are done on the black, and she does not stitch either the tires or through the window of the truck, and I'm gonna keep them in this blue shade. I'm not gonna bother stitching them in black. It'll be fine the way it is. This is the piece of fabric that I forgot to write down the actual color. This is an 18 count, and it's from Garibaldis. And I don't know what the name of the blue is. What I will do is I will look, and every week in the description box, I list all of my projects. I list the colors and where they're from for fabrics. So I will get back to you on that if you were like, ooh, I really like that blue. Now, an observation. I started, this was done on, this is some of the first fabric that I bought that was hand dyed. I started back stitching 2019. You know, I did the usual whites, creams, blacks, and then I ventured into vintage country mocha once I discovered 1-2-3 Stitch, but I hadn't really discovered the whole world of hand dyers. And so once I hit Etsy, it was a whole new world. And this was from a company called Garibaldis. Now, I didn't realize they had two types of hand-dyed fabrics. They had these, which were a little bit cheaper, and then they had Swigards. And at the time, I didn't really know. These are Charles Craft. And so I said, well, I'm just gonna try the ones that are a little bit cheaper. And so I did. Observations, Charles Craft fabric is thick. I was stitching on this, and I tell you, grabbing it and the feel of it, it's much thicker. I have since come to love stitching on the hand-dyed Swigart bases, colors. One, because it is a little bit thinner, so there's less grab. And then also, usually on the back of a Charles Craft, you can see where the back is because the fibers start to split just a tiny bit. It doesn't really matter on the front, so there is a definite front and the back on these. And on the front, it doesn't matter. So that's not that big a deal. And I know a lot of hand dyers do both Charles Craft and Swigart. So give it a try if you want to try some, especially if you do want like maybe a heftier feel of fabric. But that was just an observation of mine since I've stitched now with hand-dyed fabrics for, over a year. I'm learning what feel I like and what I don't and what works for me. I'll continue this. And I do have some more from Garibaldis. I'm not going to get rid of it. I do like some of the colors. I had some trouble with them when supply, well, actually it was before supply chain issues, so I guess you can't blame the pandemic. Before that, I did have some trouble with them with the length of an order and no communication. I have no idea. I don't want to say that that might be an issue now, because I don't know. I haven't ordered from them in a while. But I do love this color, and I do like some of the other colors that I've gotten from them. So I can't say that I won't stitch on it. I know I will when I find the right projects for it. But I do. I love the deepness of it and then some lighter colors. So I'll probably continue to work on this a bit more in July. I don't do really much decorating in the month of July. Yeah, I do some seasonal, but really not a ton, to be quite honest with you. And as we've simplified the house and the decorations, I seem to do less and less. Maybe like Christmas is the big one. And even that's not crazy. So I'm stitching these just for the joy of stitching it. And this would most likely go into my stitching scrapbook. This won't be displayed in the house. It will be part of my scrapbook though, because I will enjoy looking at all the pieces I've stitched. All right, so that is a new one there that I brought back from a long, long time ago. Okay, and I will check the color on that. I promise it will go in the description. Next, I do want to make a correction, an apology to Chris Cross Stitch. I said his stitch hashtag wrong. It is Spooky Summer Stitch, hashtag Spooky Summer Stitch. Basically, Chris has invited everyone to stitch anything Halloween-ish over the summer, and if so, tag it Spooky Summer Stitch. I was stitching on this one. I said, yay, this would perfectly fit. So I am going to call it. Let me show you. First, it came from Halloween, Cross Stitch Halloween, just Cross Stitch Halloween 2020. So last year's. And this is the piece. It's from Misty Pursel. Super cute. And it's, every time I stitch on it, it's really cute and I like it. Here we go. So I definitely got way more of the pumpkin done. And we've started the little mouse. He's so cute. This is done on 18 count vanilla latte from Bestitchme. And it is officially part of the hashtag Spooky Summer Stitch. Stitch along. That anybody can stitch on. And it was funny because I was looking at it this morning and I said, well, if I'm really, really slow and all of this border has fill-in, so maybe I will be, and I hit August, it can be part of Carla from Carla Being Crafty, part of her Black Cat birthday sale, because her birthday is in August and she does different stitches, hashtag Black Cat birthday sale. So maybe we can combine it now, unless I can count it now as part of Carla's hashtag, even though it's only July. I'll have to find out. Super fun. But if you have some Black Cat stitching, that's also a fun sale to be a part of. Last year I did the Satsuma, the Halloween cat, which actually Chris is stitching now. It's a fun stitch if you've thought about it and haven't stitched it. I really love it. And I have one more piece that I've worked on this week that is not new. I touched a lot of pieces this week. And it is from Silver Creek Samplers, Taking It Easy. And I am changing, what am I changing? I am changing the color of the dress. And I obviously won't put the date. And here we go. I'm gonna do it like this because this is where the first part is. Here we go. That's where I am. This is 18 count Serene from Picture This Plus. A really, really pretty, very subtle light mint. And I kept working. I did a little bit of the words, but I wanted to come down in here and work on the girl. And I took these, so there's two different shades of purple. In the picture, they use the two different shades of blue that are similar, I think, to the border stuff, if I remember correctly. At least one of them is. And I had seen Elaine stitching this. She showed it on Instagram. And you know what? Underneath the description, I'm going to put her Instagram account, Elaine1. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to tell you, but I will put it in the description when I talk about this piece, her Instagram. And you can see it. She instead of the date, she created a little book. It was adorable. And I asked her what colors she had used for the purple. And she was very generous in telling me what colors she used. I love them, so I ended up deciding to use them as well. And I will let you know when I have more of it in there, what I'm doing. If you want to know now, send me either a DM on Instagram or an email, or even leave it in the comments, and I will dig through. I don't have the stuff right here right now, but I will happily tell you what she had suggested. And that's where we are. So I think I want to keep going with the girl and do some more of the dress and see how the purple looks, and then we'll work our way back this way. So that's what this is. Super loving it. And that's all of the pieces that are in progress that I had done. I had one new start because it is, oops, let me fold this over here. Because now it is July, and Christmas in July is a thing for crafting in general, as well as shopping, right? Excuse me, tickle in my throat. I decided that I do want to do a few Christmas stitches. I'm not doing exclusively Christmas this July. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I do want to do some. And I had done last year's, I think it was last year, so I decided I want to do this year's Prairie Schooler Santa. So this is the 2021 Santa. So I pulled them out and got a teeny tiny finish. Not very much at all, but a tiny bit. And let me see if I have the right name. Yes, okay. This is what I've got. Oops. And it's so tiny, I cover my tiny start. That's it. We have his hat, and we've started going to his hair. This is done on 18 count Jade from Picture This Plus. And I did last year's, I can show you, on this same piece. I haven't cut it yet. So that was last year's. And I really liked it on this color, so I decided I wanted to do this year's as well. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Prairie Schooler face. They're very pink. Prairie Schooler and Lizzie Kate make really, really pink faces. And so I did change the face a little bit, color-wise, and I will do the same. I have to look it up, but I'm going to do the same, whatever colors I did here, I'm going to do here for this guy as well. So when I have that and I've done it, I'll put the information. But that's my teeny tiny start. I really, really, really did not have a lot of stitching time yesterday. I was exhausted, as well as not having much time. So I'm really actually pleased that I got as much done as I did, because it was really just, I like to do a tiny bit of stitching each day, and so I wanted to get a few stitches in yesterday, and even that wasn't keeping me awake. I was just falling asleep, so that was that. So that's all of my stitching this week. Plans. What do I plan to do coming up now? I want to continue with with many of my current projects. I would like to finish Crab Friends, so I'm going to do my very best to do that. I'd like to continue the Cat-O-Lantern as part of my Spooky Summer Stitch, and I'm just really enjoying. I'm looking, at the stuff that I just threw down. I'm really enjoying the stitching, so I'll have to see how I want to balance. I do want to start some Christmas pieces, but I am not doing exclusively Christmas. This one I think will be a pretty quick one, although when I come down here I may change my mind. So we'll see. I do want to start my full piece, my full coverage piece, Christmas one, maybe this week, maybe. I'm not sure. I did bring the stuff down here to Delaware, so maybe, no promises. It depends. It depends on what's happening and so on and so forth. I don't know. And that's part of it. It's rainy here today, so things will be a bit quiet, maybe a good stitching day, but if and when, I'm not gonna say if, I'm gonna say when the weather improves, then, we might get out and about a little bit as best we can on a holiday weekend. So we'll see what happens with the stitching. So the plans, as usual, loosey-goosey, really no big plan. Shopping, I don't have a ton for you. I have one piece to show you. And this was my fabric of the month from Color and Cotton. It is the June fabric, and I am in the any color, so I never know what I'm gonna get. If you do not want to see, if you haven't received yours yet, then look away, and I will show them. I'll show them right now. So look away. Here it is. It's called Old West, and this is an 18 count. Really pretty color. Pretty pretty. Again, it's gonna just go in my stash. I use these fabric of the months as a great way, okay, you can look back, to enhance kind of the basic stash. And then I buy colors that go specifically with projects that I may not have in the stash, but it's surprising now as I've built up with the fabric of the month clubs, I'm finding that, oh, this is a pattern I want to stitch. Let's go through and see. And sometimes I definitely do have exactly what I want. So it's paying off. It took a little while, but it's paying off now to have a nice little stash coming in. And it's just so pretty. So right now I am keeping the fabric of the month clubs that I'm currently in. Okay, that's it. That's it for shopping. I do want to, Linda, I think it was Linda, again, because my brain sometimes forgets names, had sent me a picture of what this month's, or I don't know if it's a monthly thing, just Cross Stitch magazine looks like, and I do want to get it. I probably get the digital version because there's all sorts of summer and kind of stuff like that. So she knew me that I needed to get that one, so I am going to pick that up. So maybe I'll have that next week and some ideas of things I want to stitch with, or on stitch, whatever the word would be. So we'll see. That's a potential future purchase. And when I was getting my iPad ready for the Crab Friends and go to the Crocette Gogo Etsy site, she has a beach time. She has just the PDF, and then she has 2 different kit to make, I think like bags. I'm not exactly sure. I would just get the PDF. She has a beach time new pattern that I loved. So I have a feeling that that's going to be jumping into my cart very quickly, and I'm going to have to pick that one up because I loved it. As soon as I saw it, I said, wait a minute, what's this? This is new. I don't know this. So there might be some digital purchases in my future, which, since I'm not in Connecticut, I'll have something to show because obviously the mail is not coming down here. So that's it. That's it for shopping. Giveaways. Let's talk giveaways. So we had last week's giveaway. I'm just reaching behind me here. And let me mix my names up. Here's the pattern that I was giving away. It is Ma Ella's Crazy Quilt. It's a leisure art pattern from 1988. So we're going back. There is, full disclosure, there's a tiny bend here, but it will not affect your pattern in your stitching. And the winner is, where am I sending it? I have people from all over doing comments, so I'm always super excited to see where I'm sending a giveaway to. And here we go. Oh, there's 2. Here we go. Teresa Harper. Teresa, if you could give me your address, I will send that out to you. So I'm going to put your name right by that so that we know who the winner is. This week, like I did a couple weeks ago, because I'm stitching Prairie Schooler 2021, I got one for you all too. So I'd like to give one away to somebody. Now, what do we do for the giveaway? I have 2 things. Only one will enter you into the giveaway. Well, let's see, you have to do both of them, but if you don't do the second one, you won't be entered. So don't worry. I love to ask a question that I love to ask of everybody because I want all of my friends to weigh in and tell me whether it's a silly question or a stitching question or even a deeper question. But some of you may not want to enter the giveaway. So what I do then is, besides the question, I usually give a word. And that word is the word I look for. And only if that word is in your comment do I put your name in for the giveaway. So this week, this is an easy one. Are you stitching Christmas this July? Are you doing anything Christmas? Are you jumping on that whole Christmas in July thing? Or if you do not celebrate Christmas, are you stitching for your holiday this month? Any of those. I'm super curious to know what you may be stitching, and if it is for a holiday of the sort, then I want to hear about it. I want to check out these patterns. And if you'd like to be entered into this giveaway, say the word owl, and that will be the word I'll search for when I write down the names. So are you stitching Christmas this July or some other holiday that you celebrate? Or are you, well, even if you're just like, nope, I like my current piece and that is what I'm focusing on. That's cool too. I'm cool with that. But say the word owl if you want me to put your name in. And that's the stitchy stuff. So if you would like to head on out to your next stitching friend, then I hope you have a fantastic week. And I'm hoping it's cooler wherever you are. If you were in some of those spots that were hit by the awful, awful heat, I am thinking about you and hoping that you've gotten some relief from the heat. And if you're some of my friends in the cold weather spots, I hope it's not too cold. All right, so life stuff. As you can see, I am in Delaware. We came down yesterday because we wanted to beat the 4th of July traffic. We figured Friday, people might be starting their weekend. There was still traffic. It was a little bit heavier than what I would normally see, potentially. But it wasn't too bad, but it was a day. So normally, if it's just more we do a lot of the stuff. We get everything ready the night before. Most of the stuff that we're gonna pack in the van or the car, whatever we're taking, is downstairs, ready to go, whatever. And then the dog stuff that morning and everything, what we have to do. Well, this time we brought the kids. So Connor is 18 and Megan will be 20 next month. She's an August baby. So try to get to, I'm just gonna call them teenagers because technically they both still are, older teenagers, up and out. I wanted to be on the road by 6:30 in the morning. So I told them, I warned them, I said, I'm waking you up at 5:45 because I knew it would be a process. And make sure you're packed, the whole bit. Well, 5:45 rolled around and we woke them up and whatever, and there was a lot of sluggishness and a lot of grogginess, and we didn't quite leave at 6:30. We got close. It was close, I have to say. But, Connor apparently started packing at 1 a.m. the night before. So clearly his stuff was not down and ready to be put in the car. And then Megan had her stuff, I think, packed, but it was all upstairs. So, we were trying to do a bunch of different things at once. Get the dog ready to rock and roll. And he's like running around like crazy, following us as we're putting stuff in the cars, and so on and so forth. We had to bring down a couple of bigger things that we had bought that have to be put together or put whatever. So we needed to take 2 cars. We actually drove 2 different cars down here. So we were packing all that up. I don't travel light. I have never traveled light in my life. I never really learned that skill. If I can pack 3 times as much as I need, that's what I do. And so I could be gone for a long weekend, 3-day weekend, and I'll have like 4 bags. Because I have to have my stitching, and I have to have these clothes, and I have to have those clothes. Oh, it's a disaster. But anyway, so the cars, excuse me, the cars were full. But we made it down here. It was hot, hot, hot when we got here, just like it was up in Connecticut. That really just cannot breathe heat. Got everything put away, hit the grocery store, and then thunderstorms rolled in. It did cool it off a bit, and today it is raining. It is supposed to rain, I think, a good portion of the day today. Like I said, similar to Memorial Day weekend, but I am hoping that, they said it should get better as the weekend goes along. So fingers crossed that happens and we can have some adventures down here. Today might be a stitching day, and we do have somebody coming in to do some sort of work stuff, so we will be here for that as well. So that means more stitching time potentially. But I am behind on comments. I had this crazy, apparently I don't know myself as well as I should. I said, tomorrow night, or last night, I could relax, do the comments, have my cup of tea. I was falling asleep literally just sitting there. So I had an early bedtime last night, a very early bedtime, and just figured I would regroup. I will get to everybody's comments. because that is a highlight for me, so I do not want to miss any of the comments. I did a few on Wednesday. I probably should have done some more, but I was thinking I would be nice and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed still, and I was not last night in the least. Ugh. I can't tell you, I had woken up at like 4:30, so that was part of it. And then the heat and the craziness and the drive, because I drove one of the ways. It took us about 6 hours with the dog. We do have to stop a couple different times, get him out, have him do his thing, give him a little bit before we put him back in the car, all that stuff. So it does make the trip a little bit longer, but you know, it's worth it. So I was going to try to show him to you, but he is with me up here, but he is looking in the other direction and wants no part of me right now. So one of these days, I know somebody asked to see him, so one of these days I will try to get him to make an appearance on the video without barking and all that other stuff. He's been really good and quiet up here right now, so I have to say, good job, Shamrock. Nope, still not looking at me. So anyway, I hope I have some good adventures to talk to you about next week. We will see. If not, if the weather doesn't cooperate, then maybe I'll have some good stitching to show you instead. I hope you have a fabulous weekend and a good week. And like I said, I hope the heat has broken, that awful, awful heat. I'm thinking about all of you, especially those who wouldn't normally have a lot of air conditioning because you don't need it. And then my friends who are in the cold, I saw Mel, her video, Patchy Pony Stitcher. She is at the start of winter, so she did this really good. She's beautiful. Showed outside on her farm, and crystallized cobweb. I'm not a fan of cobwebs usually, but that was beautiful, I have to say. I wouldn't want the frost right now. I think I still would take the heat over the cold, but might have been a toss-up yesterday when it was really, really, really humid. But anyway, for those of you in your winter areas, I hope you're keeping warm. I'm thinking about you as well. So this will be a short one today. Let's see if we can get this one uploaded faster. Last time I was in Delaware, it took almost 24 hours to upload, and I finally had to cancel and redo it. But hopefully this one will go up on Friday. If not, if you're seeing this on Saturday, you'll know what happened. But that's about it. I hope you're well, I hope you're safe, and taking care of yourself, drinking lots of water if you need it. And until next time, happy stitching.